Here was the duality. Few of you asked me to repeat the concept, so I am doing quickly. Okay. In duality, you need to remember just that conjunction and disjunctions are converted to each other. Converted to each other means if suppose you see conjunction sign, then in duality you will write disjunction. If you see disjunction sign, you will write in the duality as a conjunction. T naught means tautology is converted as contradiction, that is F naught, and if you see F naught, that is converted as T naught, tautology. So, for example, this is the first problem. To write down the duals of the following prepositions. So here, what would you do when we write the dual of this? Negation will remain negation. P. This here sign you can see disjunction, or I can say or, will be converted as and. So and. Q will remain same. Now here it is and you will convert it as or P as it is, or will be changed as and. Negation is negation. Q or negation of S. Okay, so now this we are supposed to write. Uh, so this was the duality, how to write the dual of the any proposition, any statement. Okay. The question comes, what's very important is verify the principle of duality. That is the important question. Give me 1 second, okay? Yeah. Okay, the question will come like to verify the principle of duality. Now, what is the principle of duality? Principle of duality says if two compound proposition you are having logical equivalent, for example, U is logically equivalent to V, or otherwise you can say like this here, something you are having LHS, this is logical equivalent sign, and something you are having in RHS. So if two compound propositions are logically equivalent, then their dual will also be logical equivalent. Okay, so in this type of questions, okay, verify. This is given, this is one of the proposition, you will consider it as U, and another proposition, this is V. So given that U is logically equivalent to V, and if we prove that duality of U is logically equivalent to duality of V, then we say that principle of duality is verified. Okay, so this is our whole soul aim. So we'll take this as U. U is LHS and V is this RHS. Yeah. So here, first what will you do? Is it fine or you are hearing any noise from my side? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Yeah. So what we are supposed to do, first we will find out its duality and then we will find out its duality. Okay. And we'll check whether those duality are logically equivalent or not. Now how to find logical equivalent? By using all laws of logic. Okay. So let's start with its logical equivalent. Okay. Sorry, it's the duality. For its duality, arey yaar, 1 second, I am getting disturbed. Yeah, here we'll take duality of U. Now, before taking duality, means here if I want to take duality, what I supposed to do to remove this conditional sign, because all laws of logic we have deals with conjunction and disjunction. So we need to remove this implies sign. So all of you know that the conditional of sorry negation of the conditional, in that we had two formulas. Negation of conditional, the negation of p implies q was p conjunction negation of q, but simply p implies q is there, that could be written as p negation of p disjunction q. So what can we do? We take negation of this, so here negation of p disjunction and this whole. Okay, this is u only, we will take dual of this. Okay, now by taking double negation sign, it will be p I solve it. Okay, fine. I solve it. Rather than telling you here. Like here it was, right? So first I need to take u dual equal to. So what would I take? I will do, who is there? Okay, I need to find out its dual, and later on its dual that should be logically equivalent. So here let's start with. Okay, see, duality, we have studied that duality we can take of conjunction, disjunction, but what about this conditional, right? So what we do, first we will remove this implies sign. How can we do that? How would we do that? See here, conditional sign is there. If I remove it, okay, and I can put here disjunction and negation of. Okay, ultimately what my aim is to simplify this equal to. Okay, again negation of this is P double negation law and this. Okay, for taking duality, now you try to understand what I'm writing here. For taking duality, this was my last line. I need to take its duality. For duality, what would I do? This was conjunction, converted into disjunction. This is disjunction, converted into conjunction. Like this, we are supposed to write equal to. Now we will try to sorry, we will try to make it simplify, more simplify. How can we make it? So if you see here, this is negation p and negation of p and q. So how, what can I write? You tell me fast, quickly tell me, quickly tell me. Why are you taking time? Here, Jyotik, tell me. I said Jyotik. Why I am teaching this? Why I am repeating this? Okay, now only.
Yes,
Tell me.
ma'am.
Idempotent law. I'm simplifying simply. Okay.
Yes,
This is
hello.
idempotent law. So we have taken idempotent law.
Hello.
Jyotik, no need. Be on mute only. What else I can do? Why I am repeating this if you guys are not interested? In my other class, syllabus is running far advanced in comparison to you. P or Q and negation of P. By commutative law, I can write Q or P negation of P Q. Okay, so these both are and only. So I can remove this bracket. I can write as Q or P and negation of P and Q. Okay, okay, let it be P or Q only. P or Q, P or Q. Here I will apply this commutative property. Okay, now this is some rule. Can anybody tell?
Absorption law,
Absorption
ma'am.
law. So what will remain? Q
Q.
and negation of P. And what somebody told. Okay, so this was the duality of U. We have got it. Now we will talk about, this is our LHS. Now we'll take duality of V. Okay, so this is duality of V. We will take, so it will be negation of P. Yeah,
We can do like this, like we can take the duality at the last.
1 second, student, 1 second. Yeah, tell me, what you were asking?
Ma'am, we can do like this, no, ma'am. We can take the duality at the last after solving everything.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
do that also. First you solve it, or in the
Mm.
last you can take duality. That is also correct. Okay, so
Yes.
if I use this commutative property, then I get Q and this negation of P. So we check that duality of U was logical equivalent, both got the same answer, right? So duality of U is logical equivalent to duality of V. So hence we conclude whenever U was logical equivalent to V, then duality of U is logical equivalent to duality of V. Hence principle of duality is verified. It's like that. Understood? So I think
Okay.
two questions are there only. One question I had given in the homework. In fact, I think I solved here only one of the problem and I sent you in the mail. Okay, and one problem is here. Now, Jyotik, you ask where is the doubt in duality? Anything else you want me to explain in duality? I am ready to explain again. My students, respond please.
Understood, ma'am.
Okay, so then I go ahead with the next session, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the last till last we have done converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Was that clear? Too loud, yeah. And
Yes,
now
ma'am.
this department see. Where are we? One second, students. You got a message?
Yes, ma'am.
Students, sorry for the interruption. Lot of people are here disturbing me. Back to the topic. Okay. So in the last, we were doing converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Any doubt in that? Okay.
No,
So
ma'am.
today is the first topic, rules of inference. Very important. Try to understand. I will try my hard to make you to explain it, but you also put your efforts. Okay. So let's start with what is rules of inference. Actually, like in logical equivalence, what we were doing, we were having a set of laws of logic, right? So around 10 to 12 were there. There were formulas, you remembered them, and after that doing practicing in the problems, you could easily learn them. So this kind of rules of inference also we will be having here. So there are 7 rules. In the same continuation, there are some rules. By applying those rules, we are supposed to check whether the state argument is valid or invalid. Okay, that I'm going to explain what is argument, but to check the validity of an argument, we need these rules of inference. So there are 7 rules of inference, little tricky and tough. But when you will do practice, the same like laws of logic, now you are having only tips, right? Whenever if I ask you what is here, so you tell like that only, you will start having confidence in rules of inference also. So let's start with. So you will be having a set of propositions. So for example, consider a set of propositions. For example, they are written as P1, P2, Pn, and there are number of propositions. Okay, and they are connected with conjunctive connective. See, conjunction connective. Okay, and this is a conditional statement with a conclusion that is Qn. So this type of statement is called an argument, where you are having a conditions which is implying to a conclusion, and condition is having number of propositions connected with conjunction connective. Okay, so that is called an argument. Here what we do, in a mathematical form it can be written as, if you will see, one proposition will be written in one line, second will be written in second line, third will be written in third line, and as a dot 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 you will be seeing, and in the last these 3 dots, this is for therefore. So therefore conclusion q, it will be written like that. So what we are supposed to do, first we need to write p1 and p2 and p3, don't put or, conjunction only. P1 conjunction P2 conjunction P3 conjunction dot 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 Pn, and therefore Q. Okay, so this is called argument. Now I tell you the difference. What the difference between this conditional and what difference between the valid argument. Conditional means, see, if I say P conditional Q, if P then Q, P implies Q. Okay, so if P is true, then Q may be true or false, right? There was not fixed there were no fix. If you remember the conditional connective and you make a truth table, whatever be the P, whether it's true or false, Q could also be true or false. If P was true, Q could be true or false. So that was conditional statement. But if in any argument we see that these are true, condition is true, then Q must be true. So that time that is called valid argument. If suppose you get these are true but Q is false, that time we say invalid argument. Okay, so for valid argument, there is a mandatory condition, or you can say necessary condition. If these propositions, these conditional conditions are true, then conclusion must have to be true. If conditions are true, Q can't afford to be false. Okay, and it is written as like this. So you need to understand the difference between the single arrow and the double line arrow. Okay, single arrow says if these conditions are true, this is, we will assume always that these conditions are true in this argument. So if these conditions are true, there are two cases that Q can be true or false. But if double arrow are there, this double line arrow is there, so it is understood, it is said that whenever these conditions are true, Q must have to be true. It can't be false. It can never be false. Okay. And that time it's called valid argument. In case if you get Q false, even though, so that time we say it's an invalid argument. That's not a valid argument. So this is the theory to prove any argument, to prove whether it's valid or invalid. So to prove them, we can't simply prove it, right? So to prove them, we need some rules. So those rules are called rules of inference. So one by one, we will discuss. There are 7 rules of inference. Try to understand. I will give you the tricks also. There are the rules. If you can remember, if you can understand the tricks, very good. If you don't remember, then learn up and mug up these formulas. These are very important formulas, same like laws of logic. So first, let's start with rule of conjunctive simplification. What it tells. If any two propositions are there, P and Q, and if P and Q is true, P conjunction Q is true, then P is true. Written as like that, P and Q is true, then I told for this argument, we will write if then instead of single line arrow, we will write second double line arrow. That means this P is also true. Now, how come you would understand this? How would you learn this? I tell you. See, first, when you see this conjunction sign, what comes in your mind? P and Q is true only in one case. Okay, in 3 cases it is false. It is true only in one case when P is true and Q is true, isn't it? When both are true, that time only P and Q is true, isn't it? Student? If either of them is false, P and Q becomes false, right? It's true only when P and Q both are true. So we can write P is true. We can say, we can make a conclusion that P is true. So from there you can remember that the conjunctive simplification says if P and Q is true, then P is true. Obviously, P will have to be true, because if P becomes false, this P and Q can't be true. They will have to be false. You will remember the truth table of the conjunction. Okay, conjunctive and conjunctive connective. Any doubt in this? If P and Q is true, then P is true. Or otherwise we can say P and Q is true, then Q is true. That is also correct. Q is true also we can write. Then Q is true. Any doubt in that? Because both of them must be true. Any doubt in that?
Ma'am, can you explain that single line arrow and double line arrow again, ma'am?
Yeah. Single line arrow means this is conditional statement. In conditional, if you remember this P implies Q, in the beginning we have done connectives. Conditional connective. If P was true, Q could be either true or false, isn't it? Q had both chances of getting true or false value. So that time this conditional was there. But when we consider if P is true, Q can have only true value, not false value. That time we use double line arrow. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Next comes rule of disjunctive amplification. Rule of disjunctive amplification says if P is true, then P or Q is true. Very important, you need to understand if P is true. So you think like that, if suppose any true proposition you are having, right? So if you take disjunction with any other proposition with disjunction connective, the answer will come true. You need to remember what is disjunction connective. In disjunction connective truth table, we have false only in one case when both propositions are false. Otherwise, every time it's true. And out of them, we have considered that one of the proposition is true. So if we put disjunction sign with any of the proposition, doesn't matter if this other proposition is true or false. We don't know anything about it. Q. If it is false or if it is true, P disjunction Q will be true, right? So you remember this rule of disjunctive. If P is true, then you can insert other proposition with the disjunction sign will also be true. So P is true, then P or Q is also true. Understood? So if you are clear about conjunction, disjunction, then these rules are very easy. Or otherwise, learn these formulas. You can, if you can learn, then learn this formula. Otherwise, I was trying to give you the tricks to remember that if P is true, then if with the disjunction we take another what's this? Another proposition, it will be true only. So, any doubt in this rule of disjunctive?
No, ma'am.
What happened, boys? Today you are sleeping. Where are the boys? Those keep on telling. Jyotik, what happened? Today you are not active. Aishwarya, Anay, Ankit. Aishwarya, what happened? Understood?
Nothing, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then third rule comes, rule of syllogism. What it says, it's simply understand like this. If I say A to B, B to C, then directly we can write A to C, isn't it? A to B, B to C, then A to C. So same here, it says that P implies Q and Q implies R, and between them and conjunction sign is there. P implies Q and Q implies R, then P implies R. You remember like this. Okay. And in mathematical form, like I told, first proposition is written in one line, second proposition is written in second line. Between them, conjunction connectivity is there. So P implies Q, Q implies R, and conclusion is P implies R. This is therefore P implies R. So you need to have A to B, B to C, then A to C, like that. So P implies Q, Q implies R, so P implies R. Very easy, easiest rule of syllogism. Okay. Any doubt in this rule of syllogism?
No, ma'am.
Next comes modus ponens, very important. This is a Latin word and it means is method of affirming. Okay, modus ponens, very important. This modus ponens and next is modus tollens. These rules we are going to use most. It's not like others we are not going to use. Others also we will use, but the most we are going to use modus ponens and modus tollens. What it says that if P implies Q is true, think like that. If P implies Q, if P is true, sorry, if P is true and P implies Q is true, P is true and P implies Q is true, then Q is true. You think like that. If P is true, already we know its value is true. Okay. And they are telling P implies Q is also true. We don't know what is the value of Q. Okay. P is true. You can draw in your notebooks also this truth table. Think like P, Q, P implies Q. So P value we know it's true. P implies Q is also given true. Then what is the possible value of Q? Tell me first, quickly. If P is true, P implies Q is true, then what is the possible value of Q?
True.
Huh?
True, ma'am.
True, right? Q can't
True.
afford to be false because if Q becomes false, then P implies Q will become false. It's not possible, right? So Q must be true. So hence, therefore, Q. That's it. You can remember like this. If P is true and P implies Q is true, then Q is true. So if you suppose you are getting confused in the exam, quickly you make a truth table and you find out. Okay, if P is true, P implies Q true, then Q what will be? So Q must have to be true. P implies Q. So this is modus ponens law. Next comes modus tollens law. It says if P implies Q is true, P implies Q is true and Q is false. P implies Q is true. Again, you draw this. P implies Q is true, Q is false, then P is false. So you can draw this. P and make a P, Q, P implies Q. P, we don't know what is the P. It is saying P implies Q is true and Q is false. Then what is the possible value of P?
False.
Because if it becomes, suppose P becomes true, then P implies Q will have to be false. But they are telling better contradiction. But P implies Q is true, then P will have to be false. So that's why then P is false. So you need to remember P implies Q and negation of Q. The P are telling Q is false. So Q is false, yani negation of Q. Okay. We will consider negation of Q is like that. Negation of Q means false. Then P is also false. So you need to remember this. This is Moore's tolerance rule. Any doubt? Here I have shown it here also. P implies Q. So P implies Q was true, Q was false. Then only one case left for P, that is P will have to be false. So therefore, negation of P. Next comes rule of disjunctive syllogism. It says if P disjunction Q is true, P or Q is true and P is false. We know that here you will draw in P or Q is true, P is false. So if I put Q also false, then this is not possible true. For making it true, Q will have to be true. So this says P or Q is true, but P is false, then Q will have to be true. This is rule of disjunctive syllogism. Understood? Any doubt? If you want to understand the concepts, you can do by truth tables. Otherwise, you can learn these formulas that P or Q and negation of P implies Q. And the last formula, rule of contradiction. What it says, least we are going to use it. Don't worry. Least in the sense, I'm not telling never we are going to. Least. It will be used, but little, rather than comparing to other. The rule states that if negation of P tends to F naught is true, F naught means contradiction, means the value is false. So P, negation of P, whether it is true or false, if it is true, then P is true. See here, they are telling conditional conclusion is false. F naught means false, definitely. But whole statement is true. So whole statement is true means negation of P must have to be false, because negation of P, if I take true, then true conditional false will become false, but we are telling it's true. So negation of P must have to be false, but negation of P is false, that means P is true. So negation of P tends to F naught implies P. Here it's your 7th. They have shown it by the truth table again. The negation of P implies F naught implies P. Hence P. So they are telling you the validity of given argument we can show by the use of rules of inference, and if in the last we are not having any rule of inference, if suppose we are out of stock, we feel ki no rule of inference we can apply now, that time we will help in the last truth tables. We will take the help of truth table. But actually very least we need to take help of truth table. So these were the 7 rules of inference. Any doubt in that? Students, you can ask. Any doubt? Then I will take problems based on this, if you are not asking. Question will come like this. Try to understand. Test whether the following is a valid argument. Argument is given, they'll ask you test whether it's a valid or invalid. They don't know. They're not asking you to prove it. They're asking you whether it's valid or invalid. So let's start with, if Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. Okay, one statement. Another statement, Sachin does not get a free car. And conclusion is, Sachin has not hit a century. Okay. So what would you do? First of all, in such kind of problems, first you need to find out the propositions. You need to identify the propositions. Okay. What will we do? First of all, we will convert it into mathematical form. Mathematical form is like this, P and Q, in the term of like this. Instead of writing in word, we need to convert it into symbols. Okay. Now how to write it? You will identify the proposition. So you can see in the first statement, there are 2 statements. If and then is a connective connecting two propositions. One proposition is Sachin hits a century. It will be first proposition. He gets a free car. So P statement will be Sachin hits a century, and Q proposition will be Sachin gets a free car. Okay, there are two statements. Now come to the second line. Second line, Sachin does not get a free car. So that means here what Sachin gets a free car. So it will be negation of Q. Does not. If I put does not, that means that will be negation of Q. Okay. And Sachin has not hit a century means this was Sachin hits a century. So Sachin does not has not hit a century will be negation of P. So if I want to write it, just simply this I convert it if then. So means conditional. So P implies Q. Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. Sachin does not get a free car, negation of Q. Therefore, Sachin has not hit a century. Sachin has not hit a century, like this. So till here, it's just till here. This is nothing. We have not done the solution. Till here, this is the question itself. Just we had converted it from the word to the mathematical form. Now, to check its validity, we will see. What is this? Yes, there is a modus tollens rule, which says if P implies Q is true and negation of Q is true, then negation of P is true. So directly we can write by modus tollens rule, the argument is valid, like this. Okay, so first of all, you should understand how to write prepositions, how to convert these word problems into the symbolic problems, and then later on, you will start understanding how to find out the valid argument. So would you try to write this? If I ask you to write this, P and Q, can you write it? Hi, students.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, can you explain it again, ma'am?
Okay, I do here. Okay, rather than explaining the same question, I do it here. Try to understand. There was two statements. One line this, another line this, and this is the conclusion. Okay. So first line was having if then. So that is a connective. Leave that. One proposition is Sachin hits a century. So we will assume let P colon Sachin hits a century. Means we are trying to convert these word sentence into the mathematical symbols. Mathematical symbol means that P, Q, R. Okay. So Sachin hits a century, we will assume it as P. Sachin gets a free car will be your Q. Okay. So this statement, if I say this is P and this is Q. So if then is there, you can directly write it here. P implies Q, isn't it? Deepika, you were asking.
Yes,
I think.
ma'am.
Here, this statement I can write P implies Q. Take it as P implies Q. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And Sachin gets a free car. Sachin gets a free car. I took it as like a Q. One statement you will take as P, another statement you will take as a Q. Okay. Now conclusion. In conclusion, Sachin has hit a century. That was P. So this will be a C. P implies Q. Q. Therefore P.
Ma'am, after this, ma'am,
After this, I tell you. First, you tell me till here. You understand?
ma'am, knowing P and Q, identifying it, I came to know. How
Okay.
will we know it is
Means
valid?
this you understood properly.
Ah, yes, ma'am, that I got
Okay,
it.
fine. After that, we will check that this argument is valid or not. Though these problems are very smaller one. Okay, so easily we can see by using rules of inference, we can see these are true or not. But later on, when we will move forward, you will have some complicated problems. So what will we do? We will take this statement and conjunction, this statement and if suppose third is there. Okay, we will connect them with conjunctive connective, and then we will apply all rules of inference what we are having. 7 rules of inference are there, and we can take help of laws of logic also. Okay, we will take help of them, and we will take help of these rules of inference. After solving, we should reach up to this conclusion. So same like until now we have done for logical equivalence, we need to do here. Okay, now here only I tell you, see here, try to understand. This statement you have got, right? If you go through again rules of inference, such kind of we don't have any formula. So we will start trying ourselves. We always say up above this underline, this line is there, you can see. Okay, P is that conclusion, and above the line these are the conditional. We always assume that these conditions are true. So now you start writing in your notebook. We have P implies Q is true. So here I have written here P implies Q is true, and Q is true. Q is true. Okay. See, we are having two conditions. P implies Q is true, Q is true, but we don't know about P. So tell me what can be the cases of P. What are the possible cases of P? We can't say anything, right? P can be true or P can be false, isn't it? Deepika, please do one-to-one interaction. Keep
Mom,
unmute
why
yourself,
did
okay?
we take, Mom?
Huh?
Why did we take P implies Q as only true? Because it is default or
It's a default. In the starting only, when we started rules of inference, this is always say that these above the line means those conditions are always true. This is all we. This is by default defined that conditions are always true. We need to check whether the conclusion is true or not. Okay, if conclusion is not true, that time we say that it's not a valid argument. But if it is true, we say it's a valid argument. So by default, you need to take these all true above the line. Okay.
okay, Mom. Okay.
So if P implies Q is true and Q is true, then what are the cases of P? We are not sure. It can be T or it can be F also, right? Whether if P is T, TT also T. If F implies T is also T, right? So here, but here they are saying
Yes, ma'am.
conclusion that P is true. So we can't say. So here we need to write, since the value of P can be either true or false, so we can't say that P is true only, hence the given argument is not a valid argument. So here nicely in the language they have shown, we note that if P implies Q, like whatever we have done here, you need to write in the words. So we note that if P implies Q and Q are true, there is no rule which asserts that P must be true. Indeed, P can be false. Like I told, one of the case P can be false. They have shown it here. Okay. Therefore, the given argument is not a valid one. Like this, you are supposed to do. Okay. Understood? Deepika now understood?
Yes, Mom. I understood.
Now you do one thing quickly. This question I am showing you. Quickly, just show me to write it into mathematical form. I'm not asking you to prove it valid or invalid. Just write it quickly in mathematical form. Everybody. If I drive to work, then I will arrive tired. I am not tired, and therefore I do not drive to work. Quickly do it, please. Just write in a proper manner. I'm not asking you to prove it. And whoever has done, take a picture, convert it PDF, and present here your screen. Anyone has done? What happened? I'm not asking you to prove it. It will take hardly 30 seconds. Deepika not done?
Done, Mom.
Then why you're not telling? Take a picture, convert it into PDF.
Yes, Mom. I'll do it.
Akhil Pratap. Akhil, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Done?
I'm doing, ma'am.
Ankit Sharma,
Yes, ma'am.
done?
Ma'am, I can orally tell you, ma'am.
Sorry,
Ma'am, I can orally tell you, like, the
why
first
not
sentence
presenting?
is P implies
Why
Q.
why not presenting? I'm asking you. Why not presenting?
Ma'am, okay, ma'am, I'll present 1 second.
Because I don't know what is P, what is Q. Okay, tell me. No problem. Orally tell me,
Yes,
Ankit.
ma'am.
Tell me. What is P?
Ma'am, P is if I drive to work. I drive to work is P.
Correct.
Implies Q, where Q is I will arrive tired.
Very good.
And then the next sentence is I am not tired, which is negation of Q.
Very good.
And the last sentence I do not drive to work, which is negation of P.
Perfect. Good. So all of you just check it once. It should come in the first line. P implies Q. Second line, negation of Q. And conclusion should come negation of P. So what it says, if you remember Modish tolerance rule. Modish tolerance rule was this only. So hence it is a valid argument. P implies Q, negation of Q, hence negation of P. So this is a valid argument. This fifth and sixth problems, and in fact 7. Okay, fifth I tell. 6th and 7th I will give you for practicing. Quickly, fifth problem. I will become famous or I will not become a musician. Okay. So here again or. In the previous problem we were having if then, but here it is or. Disjunction. So what will be the first statement? Tell me. What will be your first statement? Students, please.
I will become
Good.
famous.
So that will be P. And Q will be?
I will not.
That's a wrong.
I will become a musician.
Yeah, I will become a musician.
I will become a
Good.
musician.
You will take Q as I will take positive side as Q, and then putting not, you can take negation of Q. Okay. So you will take a statement, I will become famous as P, and I will become a musician as Q. So it will be P disjunction or otherwise P or P disjunction negation of Q. Second line will be Q and therefore P. This P disjunction negation of Q, Q, P. Okay. So here I have shown in the previous class also. How can we prove it? Sorry. Here, this can be written as we know that if you do that commutative property, so that can be written as negation of Q or P. And if I convert it into conditional statement, so will be Q or implies P. So here Q implies P, Q and P. Hence P. This was logically equivalent with the help of modus ponens rules. Okay, these are the modus ponens rules. If Q implies P and Q is true, then P will have to be true. So this argument is valid. Okay, so 6th and 7th questions are for your practicing at home. 8th question I will do in the next lecture. That's the same kind of till 7th. These are the word problems actually. And after that, what the conversion we have done, 8th problem will continue on them. We will be having this symbolical presentation and we will solve by using the rules of inference these solutions. Okay. So 6th and 7th, can I leave on you? You can do practice on them. Simply just make them, these are very easy problems. You need to convert it into PQR and okay, with connectives, write them and with the simple your rules of inference, check whether these are valid or not valid. Okay, these I am leaving up to you. 6th and 7th problems. Okay, 8th I will do in the next lecture. So any doubt? Okay. Any doubt, students? Till here, today's? So shall I take attendance?
No.
Okay. Attendance Abhishek J.
Present, ma'am.
Dipen G. Dipen
Present,
G.
ma'am.
Aditi
ma'am.
AM. Aditi AM.
Present, ma'am.
Afra Kulsum. Aishwarya.
Present, ma'am.
Ajay Mandal.
Present, ma'am.
Shri Pratap.
Present, ma'am.
Akshay.
Present, ma'am.
Anand Reddy.
Present, ma'am.
Nargya.
Present, ma'am.
Anay Malviya.
Present, ma'am.
Ankit Sharma.
Present, ma'am.
Ankita PM.
Present, ma'am.
Anu Devraju.
Present, ma'am.
Anu Lakshmi.
Present, ma'am.
Anusha. Anushri.
Present, ma'am.
Arvind.
Present, ma'am.
Arvind, what has happened to you, huh?
Ma'am, I understood, ma'am.
But you don't tell anything. Being nervous with other people. Avinash.
Present, ma'am.
Aviral.
Present, ma'am.
Ayush.
Present, ma'am.
Rohini. Chetan.
Present,
Nainital.
ma'am.
Chetan V.
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Darshan Kumar V.
Present, ma'am.
Darshan S. Deepika.
Present, ma'am.
Nandan Babu.
Present, ma'am.
Dhanusha.
Present, ma'am.
Venkat.
Present, ma'am.
Gaurav DA.
Present, ma'am.
Gaurav N.
Present, ma'am.
ಅಪ್ಪ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಳೆ ಅಂತ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಹತ್ರ ಇಲ್ವಂತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಇಲ್ವಂತೆ
Hello, ma'am. Am I
We can
audible?
we can hear other things also. Please be on mute. Whoever is talking. Anish Kaushik.
Present, ma'am.
I'm Gaurav and
Hajra.
present, ma'am.
Given already, Gaurav. Hajra. Akshita BM.
Present, ma'am.
Rita N.
Present, ma'am.
Rita S.
Present, ma'am.
Harshita N. What happened? You are also not responding in the class.
I'll respond now.
No, you don't do.
From next class, also.
Yes, I expect. Harshita V.
Present, ma'am.
Hemant G. Hemant V.
Present, ma'am.
Hina Kausar.
Present, ma'am.
Hitashi. Inchara.
Present, ma'am.
Jyotik.
Present,
Kirtana.
Present, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, Jyotik. Kota Revant. Suresh Vignesh.
Present, ma'am.
Shama Bhatt.
Present, ma'am.
Kumar Aditya.
Present, ma'am.
Lekhna.
Present, ma'am.
Manoj. Vitali.
Present, ma'am.
Mohammad Akbar. Mohammad Faizan. Monish. Akash. Nandan. Nandita.
Present, ma'am.
Nayana.
Present, ma'am.
Ikri.
Present, ma'am.
Gita Kumari.
Present, ma'am.
Nikita Johnson.
Present, ma'am.
Shant Michael.
Present, ma'am.
Nitish Kumar. Kirtana V.
Present, ma'am.
Bharat Gowda. Bhuvana MG.
Present, ma'am.
Kushal Sama. Ranjini.
Present, ma'am.
Kedarnath. Kedarnath. Okay. So students, any doubt on today's session?
Ma'am, my name
Yeah.
is Kushal.
Your name?
Kushal, ma'am. Kushal. You didn't call my name.
Is it there in fact?
Yes, ma'am.
Where it is? I can't
Downstairs.
see. Down?
Means like it's down, ma'am. One
Kushal
zero three.
Simha.
Yes, ma'am. Kushal Sinha.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, friend. Then do the practice on 6th and 7th questions. If any doubt, I'll clear in the next session. Okay. Chalo. See you. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Bye.